Hold on to your wands, theorists, because we're diving deep into the world of Harry Potter. This worldwide phenomenon has captured hearts with its magical story. But what if there's more to it than meets the eye? Could Harry Potter be a tool for mind control? We're about to uncover some dark secrets hidden within the pages of these beloved books. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew, because things are about to get magical, and maybe a little bit creepy. Let's start with Hogwarts, the magical school we all wish we could attend. It's a place of wonder and learning, but also of strict rules and hierarchy. Students are sorted into houses, wear uniforms, and follow a rigid schedule. Sound familiar? This kind of structure is similar to real-world institutions that aim to control and shape young minds. Think about it. Uniforms create conformity, rules limit freedom, and competition breeds division. Is Hogwarts subtly conditioning readers to accept these systems? Now let's talk about Voldemort, the main villain of the Harry Potter series. He's the character everyone loves to hate, the face of darkness and fear in the wizarding world. But is he truly the embodiment of evil, or is there more to his story than meets the eye? Let's dig a little deeper and see if we can uncover a different perspective on the Dark Lord. Voldemort is often painted as the epitome of evil, the ultimate villain who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. But what if we challenge that narrative for a moment? What if instead of seeing him as a one-dimensional monster, we try to understand the motivations and circumstances that shaped him? After all, every villain is the hero of their own story. Voldemort's desire to rule the wizarding world is undeniable. He seeks power, control, and immortality. But his ambitions go beyond simple domination. He wants to overthrow the Ministry of Magic, an institution he sees as corrupt, elitist, and resistant to change. In his mind, he's not just seizing power for its own sake. He's tearing down a system that he believes is fundamentally broken. Some might argue that the Ministry of Magic is indeed corrupt and out of touch with the needs of ordinary witches and wizards. We see throughout the series how the Ministry often acts in its own interests, covers up uncomfortable truths, and fails to protect its people. In this light, Voldemort's rebellion could be seen as a response to a deeply flawed system, one that refuses to acknowledge its own failings. Could it be that Voldemort is a misunderstood revolutionary, fighting against an establishment that has failed its people? Is it possible that his methods, while extreme and often horrific, are the result of a lifetime of pain, rejection, and a desperate need to belong? If we look at his early life growing up in an orphanage, feeling unloved and unwanted, it's not hard to see how he might have developed a deep mistrust of authority and a desire to reshape the world in his own image. And finally, we have to ask ourselves, is this a classic case of history being written by the victors? Dumbledore and his allies ultimately triumph, and they control the narrative that gets passed down. What if the story we know is only one side of a much more complicated conflict? Perhaps, in another version of history, Voldemort's actions would be seen not as evil, but as the desperate measures of someone trying to change a world that refused to change itself. The truth, as always, may be far more complex than it first appears. One of the central themes in the Harry Potter series is the idea of destiny, a concept that has fascinated people for centuries. From the very first book, we see hints that Harry's life is not entirely his own, that some greater force or fate is guiding his journey. The notion of destiny is woven into the very fabric of the wizarding world, shaping not only Harry's path, but also the lives of those around him. It raises a profound question. Are we truly in control of our own lives, or are we simply following a script that's already been written for us? Harry's entire existence is shaped by a prophecy, a mysterious prediction made before he was even born. This prophecy declares that he is the chosen one, destined to face and ultimately defeat the dark wizard Voldemort. From the moment he learns about it, Harry's choices, his friendships, and even his sense of self are influenced by this single, powerful narrative. The prophecy becomes a lens through which he views the world, and it's impossible to ignore the weight it places on his young shoulders. But what if this prophecy is more than just a prediction? What if it's actually a form of mind control, subtly shaping Harry's actions and decisions? When someone is told that their future is already decided, it can be incredibly difficult to break free from that expectation. The prophecy acts almost like invisible puppet strings, guiding Harry's every move, whether he realizes it or not. It's a powerful psychological force, one that can make people act in ways they might never have chosen on their own. Imagine being told from a young age that your fate is sealed, that you have no real choice but to walk a certain path. How would that affect your sense of freedom, your ability to make decisions, or even your sense of identity? Would you rebel against it, or would you accept it as truth and let it define you? This is the dilemma Harry faces, and it's a situation that many people can relate to, even outside the world of magic. The idea that our lives are predetermined can be both comforting and terrifying depending on how we choose to interpret it. This kind of manipulation, where someone's beliefs and actions are shaped by a powerful narrative, isn't just a fantasy. It's something that happens in the real world too. When people are convinced that their options are limited or that their future is already decided, it can feel like being trapped behind invisible bars. The stress and anxiety that come from feeling powerless can be overwhelming, and it's a struggle that many people face in different forms throughout their lives. Think about the ways political propaganda or religious indoctrination work. These systems use carefully crafted stories and messages to influence people's beliefs, shape their identities, and control their actions. Whether it's a government convincing citizens to support a war, or a religious leader telling followers that their fate is predetermined, these narratives can be incredibly persuasive. They tap into our deepest fears and hopes, making us question what is real and what is simply a story we've been told. In the end, the question remains: are we the authors of our own destinies, or are we characters in someone else's story? Speaking of control, let's talk about magic itself. In the Harry Potter world, magic is a tool that can be used for good or evil, but it can also be used to manipulate and control others. Think about the Imperious Curse, which allows wizards to control other people's minds, or love potions, which remove free will and create artificial obsession. These examples show how easily magic can be used to exploit and manipulate others, highlighting the potential dangers of unchecked power. While we don't have magic in the real world, at least not that we know of, there are still ways to influence people's thoughts and actions. Governments, corporations, and even individuals use propaganda, advertising, and social media to shape public opinion and control the narrative. Just like in Harry Potter, these tactics can be subtle and insidious, working on a subconscious level to influence our beliefs and behaviors. It's important to be aware of these tactics and to think critically about the information we're being fed. So, why would anyone want to use a beloved book series like Harry Potter for mind control? The answer is simple. Stories are powerful. They have the ability to shape our beliefs, values, and even our behavior. When a story is as popular and influential as Harry Potter, it has the potential to reach millions of people worldwide. This makes it a valuable tool for anyone who wants to spread a message or promote a particular ideology. Now, before you accuse J.K. Rowling of being a mastermind of manipulation, it's important to remember that this is just a theory. There's no evidence to suggest that Harry Potter is part of some grand conspiracy. In fact, some of the theories out there are pretty outlandish. Remember that viral claim that the 2012 Olympics were a cover for a Voldemort attack? Yeah, that didn't happen. It's important to be critical of everything you see and hear, even if it sounds convincing. So what have we learned today? Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've just taken together. We started with a simple question, and along the way, we uncovered layers of meaning, hidden messages, and the power of perspective. It's fascinating how something as familiar as a children's book can open the door to so many different interpretations and spark such lively debate. We've learned that even something as seemingly innocent as a children's book series can be analyzed and interpreted in different ways. What might look like a simple story on the surface can actually be a complex tapestry of ideas, beliefs, and cultural influences. Every reader brings their own experiences and background to the table, which means that no two interpretations are ever exactly the same. This is what makes literature, and really any form of storytelling, so endlessly fascinating. It's not just about what's written on the page, but about how we, as readers, interact with those words and make them our own. We've learned that it's important to think critically about the messages we're being sent, both in fiction and in real life. Stories shape the way we see the world, and sometimes they can reinforce ideas or stereotypes without us even realizing it. By asking questions and digging deeper, we can uncover hidden meanings and challenge the assumptions that might otherwise go unnoticed. Critical thinking isn't just a skill for school, it's a tool we can use every day. Whether we're reading a novel, watching a movie, or scrolling through our social feeds. It helps us separate fact from fiction, and empowers us to make informed decisions about what we believe and why. But most importantly, we've learned that it's okay to ask questions and challenge the status quo. In fact, that's how progress happens, by daring to wonder, to doubt, and to seek out new perspectives. When we engage in thoughtful discussion and share our ideas with others, we open ourselves up to growth and understanding. Sometimes, the most interesting discoveries come from the questions that don't have easy answers. So don't be afraid to speak up, to share your thoughts, or to look at things from a different angle. Curiosity is the spark that ignites learning and innovation. So, the next time you pick up a book, watch a movie, or scroll through social media, remember to stay curious and keep those theorist eyes peeled. The world is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and every story is an opportunity to learn something new. Whether you're exploring the pages of a fantasy novel, analyzing the plot twists of your favorite show, or questioning the headlines you see online, never stop asking why and what if. Because at the end of the day, curiosity is what keeps our minds sharp, our hearts open, and our imaginations alive. Stay curious, and you'll never stop discovering.